So guys, what's going on, guys? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. Guys, before we get into it, as always, smash the like button, guys. Really smash the like button for me. Let's get over 60, 70, 50, at least 50. The target is 50 per video. Let's try hitting 50 likes per video. Let's try get 50 likes on this one. But I want to get into this video, and it's some shocking news, guys. Apparently, according to Gareth A. Davies, that Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn is a done deal. Apparently, those two are gonna square off maybe in a couple of months' time. It's a done deal, and it's kind of funny because Eddie Hearn kind of dismissed the talks of Eubank and saying that Conor Benn was going for Thurman. But that's been that's obviously Gareth A. Davies. These are the guys that, you know, have a lot of boxing knowledge. They know what's going on inside the boxing game, and generally their information is pretty credible. So for them to confirm something and say it's a done deal, they must know something on the behind the scenes that we as fans don't know. So that's very interesting news. It's a very bizarre move from Chris Eubank's point. Chris Eubank is a guy that really a lot of people have got fed up with. They think that his career has become a bit of a showbiz career where what is he actually doing? Is he keeps talking about wanting to win a world title, but there doesn't seem to be any ambition there. You know, this is a guy that turned down a Gennady Golovkin fight, and Gennady Golovkin ended up fighting Kell Brook, and that was the time to make the fight. For some whatever reason, maybe they didn't think they were ready. They avoided the fight. Now he should be taking fights with the likes of Jermall Charlo's. You know, and then he signed with PBC. And you thought the Jermall Charlo fight was one that they were gearing towards. That didn't work out. That didn't materialize. And Chris Eubank's career has just been like that. It's like he's been fighting nobodies, and his career's going into where is his career right now? I don't quite understand, because he's not a world champion. He's never been a world champion, and it doesn't look like he's getting a chance to fight for a world title anytime soon. So we're talking about, they were also talking about Liam Smith, who signed with Boxer, that could be an option for Eubank. But Liam Smith, again, that for me is not, for me Liam Smith is a better option than Conor Benn when you look, because Liam Smith's a former world champion. Maybe not financially, but it's definitely a fight that I think makes more sense. And Eubank fighting either of those guys, for me, it's a step in the wrong direction, really. I think Conor Benn is a step in about 3-4 steps back, just because he's a welterweight. He's never been at what, like, we don't know where Conor Benn's at, really. You know, that people say he's a fringe world level contender at this point, or he's a contender in the welterweight division, but we've not really seen him fight anybody apart from people past their best. So Eubank, that would just be a cash out fight for Eubank. But Eubank, for me, is that type of fight. I don't think he's really that interested in world titles. I think he's more interested in just big fights against whoever. And just there for the big money fights, really, which is fair enough. Now, I understand that Jermall Charlo's got one of the belts. We don't know what's going on with Andrade Janibek and that. I think Andrade might have the other belt, and Golovkin is fighting Canelo. So I get that things are tied up. But Jermall Charlo, why can't Kale Salom reach out to PBC and try and make that fight? You know, I don't quite understand, because Jermall Charlo hasn't got a fight. And even if Jermall Charlo did have a fight, Jermall Charlo was fighting in June. So surely they could have reached out after that and maybe tried to get something done. I just don't understand the trajectory and where Eubank's career is going, and I don't think it's a good look, him looking to fight Conor Benn. Now, they're saying that this fight is done. Now, looking at it from Conor Benn's point of view, Conor Benn is looking for a world title at welterweight, or that's what we're being told. They're told that, he was looking for a Thurman fight. That's not practical, because Thurman's not going to fight Conor Benn. What does he gain from fighting Conor Benn? He's not going to come over to the UK to fight Conor Benn. Conor Benn is basically a nobody to Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman doesn't even want to fight Jaron Ennis. He didn't even want to fight Errol Spence when Errol Spence was on the come up. Do you think he's going to want to fight Conor Benn? You know, Keith Thurman wants the big fights. He wants Crawford. He wants Spence. He wants the big guys. He doesn't want Conor Benn. You know, that's just a simple fact. He doesn't want to fight Conor Benn because he doesn't see anything in for him, which is true. There isn't anything in for Keith Thurman, is there, to fight Conor Benn? But Conor Benn's in a situation in his career. I can understand why, if they are going to take the Eubank fight, why they will go down that route. I'll tell you why. Because of the fact that Conor Benn's next fight has to be a pretty big fight. and they're thinking he could lose that fight. So rather than taking a fight against Ramirez, against a Kavaliauskas, someone of that level, why not just jump into a fight where it's a big money fight, where Conor Benn's going to make a lot of money? If he wins, he becomes a superstar. If he loses, then he can say, well, oh, I basically lost to a middleweight. So he'll kind of have an excuse. He'll kind of have an excuse for why he lost. I just don't think it's. I just don't think either of these guys, in my opinion, I don't think it's a good look, because Conor Benn's a welterweight, Chris Eubank is a middleweight. I just don't quite understand what's the purpose of this fight. I'm confused. I'm really confused. I'm really confused, because for me it's a nothing type of fight. It's a nothing fight. Let's be brutally honest. What does it gain? What does it gain? Nothing. If Conor Benn wins, okay, he becomes a bigger star. If Eubank wins, he gains nothing. Eubank literally gains nothing from that, because he's got nothing to win. He's got nothing to gain apart from fame and the fact that the fight is big, so his popularity will increase and he's going to get paid a few quid. Apart from that, he gains nothing from a world ranking point of view. And the fight apparently is going to be taking place at 155, because they're going to have to do it at catchweight, and there'll be a rehydration clause. So Chris Eubank, who's a massive middleweight, I don't know how he's going to make 155. I think it's ridiculous. I think it's just a promoter's trying to make money, and I just don't think it's the right fight at this point. Maybe down the road, fair enough, if both of them fought for a world title. But I think they probably think commercially at this point, because if Eubank was to fight for a world title, lose, Conor Benn was to fight a fringe world level guy and lose, the fight might not hold the credibility it holds at this stage, because their market value will drop and people will realize, okay, they're not that good. Whereas right now, they could really strike and they could come back. Because if Conor Benn, who is the underdog, who would be the underdog, and I think he'd lose, he can come back and say, well, I fought a middleweight. But that's not a way to go about your career. Your career is, you're at welterweight. You need to go and do something at welterweight first before you start looking at middleweights. You know, it's to me, boxing has become a bit of a joke where people are, and Stephen made this point, that people are just looking to jump into different weight classes when they've done nothing in their weight class. Like, fair enough if Conor Benn was a multiple world champion. I mean, he was a unified world champion, and he feels that there's a massive opportunity out there. Fair enough, but this is a guy that's not done a lot yet in terms of what has he won on the world stage. He hasn't won a world title yet. So why are we looking at a Chris Eubank fight in a different weight class? You know, it's just a bizarre fight. Eubank's too big anyway. He's almost 6 foot tall. He's a massive middleweight. You know, this is a guy that competed at 168. So as much as, and Conor Benn's not even a big 147. I think it's a total mismatch. And I think it's just greedy from the promoters and from the fighters just to make a few quid, which, fair enough, you can't begrudge them. It's a tough sport, but these are two guys that should be looking to make their legacy, especially the fact that a lot of people look at both these guys and think that they're only there because of their dad's names. They should want to do something on the world stage rather than fight each other, because they're both viewed not world level by majority of boxing fans. They're not viewed as world level. They're viewed as guys that are got a lot of opportunities so far because of their fathers. That's how a lot of people view him, even though I think for Conor Benn's a bit harsh because he's pretty young and his progression has been unbelievable. Same with Eubank. I've always rated Eubank pretty highly. I don't think, not pretty highly, I mean, I think I always thought he'd win a world title, especially if matched against the right opponent. The problem is that he doesn't seem to have the ambition. He doesn't really seem to have that ambition. For me, it's just a career where he's looking to make as much money in big fights, which is fair enough, but to win a world title first. Once you win a world title, then fair enough. If you want to go and make big money in big money fights, money spinners, that's fair enough, but at least win a world title so you have that on your record. He's never won a world title. And neither has Conor Benn. Conor Benn's never fought anybody of any kind of note you know, he's fought guys that are relatively washed up. And even the guys that he fought, like Chris Algieri, and Chris Algieri was a world champion. Van Herden, I think, was an IBO champion. But these are guys that were never top of their division. These are guys that were never top fighters. They were always guys that would put up good fighters, a good fight against the best, but would come up short. You know, that's what these fighters were. So, again, that's the best that Conor Benn's fought. You know, Granados, Algieri, these are not the best. These are guys that are kind of gatekeepers to the top guys. So Conor Benn needs to step up levels, and we were being promised that he's going to step up. Okay, if he does step up against Eubank, that's definitely a step up, but it's a ridiculous step up because he's fighting somebody that's just way bigger than him, and it's not really a fair fight. In my opinion, it's a mismatch. Even if they try to handicap Eubank and Eubank can't perform or tie his shoelaces, then that's no good because basically you're handicapping Eubank, and that's the only reason Conor Benn is going to win. But if we look at it fairly, if this fight happens at a fair weight, there's no way he's going to win. Simple as that. There's no way he's going to win. But that's my take. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Let me know if you like this fight, if you dislike this fight. I'm not too fussed. I mean, I'm not too happy about it. I don't think it's a great fight by any stretch. I think it's a mismatch, and I think it's just one of those fights that get made in today's boxing. You know, two big names, match them up, even they're in different weight classes. Someone's going to get hurt soon, in my opinion. Someone's going to get really hurt, and then that's when this ridiculous weight jumping is going to stop, because I think it's ridiculous. I do. I genuinely think it's ridiculous. I don't think this should happen. But again, we're all tuned in, we'll all watch it, and we're to fault because we're all by it, and that will do huge numbers because of their fathers, because of the history. So it's a big fight. I just don't think it makes sense at this point in either of their careers. Just my opinion. Leave your thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.